Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again with another slasher serial killer movie, Sweet 16 from 1983. It's about a girl that moved into town called Melissa Morgan. She's the hottest girl in school, and she goes on a date with a young guy to have some uh, good times, and eventually the guy ends up dead, slashed to bits. Um, Now, and we've got Bo Hopkins, which I really like that actor because he really he sold himself as a sheriff. He's the sheriff of town, Sheriff Burke. He really sells himself. If he's on screen, he demands the screen. You know what I mean? And he has to figure it out. And I like these sorts of movies where you've got a slasher and you've got one guy who has to figure it out. And that's as much as I can tell you without spoiling things. Also, the movie gets a 5.1, it gets a 5.5 from me. So it does get a little bit of an upgrade. Now, before I go, Don Shanks is also in this movie. And if anybody, not long ago, I did a review with. He was also in that movie. I'm not sure which one. Don Shanks. He played Michael Myers in Halloween 5, probably the worst Halloween sequel ever made. Maybe even worse than Rob Zombie or Halloween's. So, and there you can see in full glory with a long, long black hair. He had in the same black hair he had when he was playing Michael Myers. Uh, that was fun to see. Fun to see. Um, his name is called Jason Longshadow because he has this long black hair. Um, he I'm not sure if he's family with him. I'm guessing he's always with this older Indian guy called Greyfeather. But this town, you have to say, this town is 80% white people and like 20% is Native American. And all these white people spit on the Native Americans who are all fucking racist, you know? And if they can, they would even kill. They would even kill them. There are a few that would even kill them. Now, like I said, with the girl Melissa Morgan, she basically goes to this bar where just this fight happened between Jason and Greyfeather, and they go away with her pickup. She comes to Jason and wants to fuck him. Okay, now the movie's called Sweet 16. She's not 16 yet, she's 15. And she wants to fuck him, 15 years old. He just grabs her by the arm and says, "Go away, this is a dangerous neighborhood. That's it. Go away, go away." She'll chill, man. And then two punks, like 20 years old. I mean, one punk and one non-punk, but the other guy is named Hank Burke. He's the son of Sheriff Burke. He, she basically is communicating in riddles, and the formula of the riddle is would you fuck me? That's basically it. So okay, they go for fun and some dope and some booze and some, well, a little bit of this. I mean, for a 15-year-old girl being like that, Jesus fucking Christ. If I had a daughter and she was doing things like that, any case, she wants to go. He eventually, she, the guy where she had sex with, he brings her back to her home. Then he drives along, but his gas is empty. He has to run forward, but then he gets killed by a knife. And he gets pretty killed in a gory way because you see the knife slicing through his from here to here, and it's a cool effect. And he gets like 20 stabs. It's pretty gory. There are not a lot of kills in the movie. I mean, there are a lot of 4 kills in the movie, but uh, 2 of them where you really are involved, where you really see, you know. Um, 2 more off-screen kills and then 2 on-screen kills. But then again, after that, townspeople are getting angry, saying it's Indians, and then Sheriff Burke says he takes one of these hillbillies. He wants to take, you know, he wants to take matters in his own hands. He says he takes him apart. If you stop calling, stop, he says, stop calling them scum, because my mom was Indian. So I don't like you to call them scum. You got that, piece of shit. And then, like I said, he's just demanding for. He's very gentle. He gives people a second chance if need be, but the second chance, if if they cross second chance, oh man, you're gonna feel it. You know what I mean? He's that kind of guy. He's really he did a great job, Bull Hopkins. Then he has his daughter, Marcy Burke, who likes to read these Sherlock Holmes novels, and she thinks herself as a detective. She calls, oh, was the guy MIA or KIA, like killed in action or missing in action? And then you find some semen samples. I mean, what the fuck? And he says, just be my daughter, okay? Sheriff, just be my daughter. And then at some point, at school, she gets talking with another boy, basically saying, "You're gonna fuck me while I'm doing some dope." That's basically what she's saying. They meet up at a certain hour, a later hour, behind a bar, and before she gets there, he gets sliced and diced. And she arrives, sees him, and she bumps against Greyfeather. And now what she does is she says to the police, she said in a bar, because he was in the bar, the sheriff. He says that an old Indian man killed him. That's what she said. She didn't see him killing him, but she said he killed him. And he said, no. It's Greyfeather. Greyfeather wouldn't do something like that. And there are these 2 hillbillies. One of them was the guy at the rally in the one at the town hall meeting that the sheriff had to put aside. They're going to have a little vigilante action. They just step in their fucking pickup truck. Yeehaw, yeehaw. They go to his fucking Greyfeather's house and hang him. Poor son of a bitch. They hang him for doing nothing wrong. And then you have the funeral of that boy that's been stabbed. And then Marcy Burke does something that I really respect her for. She takes Melissa by her arm and says, "It's your fault. This that that an old man is hanging from a ceiling, twitching from a ceiling because you told false information." And she said, "Yeah, but he was the only guy there, so he must have done it." You didn't see anything. You didn't see anything. And about that kiss, about the because she said to the sheriff that at some point the Indian Long Shadow, Don Shanks said he hold her by the arm and wanted to kiss her. That's not true either. She knows this. It's not true. You're a lying, manipulative, self-indulging little bitch. She's going all off the rails to this girl, and then she cries away and sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And there goes my respect for Marcy Burke. Instead of she deserved that. she she's a she Melissa is a fucking, she's an attention seeking fucking whore who lies and extreme consequences happen. But no, Marcy Burke, and in a millisecond she gets a second. Her mind, it's like, okay, no, I have to comfort her. I have to, and if you want to talk to someone, you can talk with me. Fuck you, Marcy Burke. What, you were right the first time. Eventually, there's this the father of Melissa, Dr. Morgan, and his wife Joan Morgan. Joan and Sheriff Berg, they know each other. They grew up together in that town. And Dr. Morgan, he didn't grow up there, but he's an archaeologist, so he's digging for in pieces of Indian. Now he says that Jason Longshadow probably stole his daggers. Now there are 5 daggers buried in this valley, in this small part, with every chief of a tribe had was buried with a dagger of with a bone, that was that is sort of created into a dagger. And he says, if I have the 5 daggers, I have the money to excavate the entire canyon. And he says that Long Shadow took them, and eventually Sheriff Burke says he wouldn't do that again. He places a little bit too much trust on these guys. He goes to Long Shadow's house. He finds the fucking daggers, 3 of them, like Dr. Morgan said. But then, and then things sort of get cloudy. I mean, so Joanne wants to hold a big sweet 16 party for her girl. And she invites those 2 fucking assholes who killed Greyfeather. Now, Melissa, being the slut she is, seduces Hank, the son of Sheriff Burke, and they go to this pond and skinny dip. All her tits and all, you can see everything. And these 2 guys who killed Greyfeather they are only not vigilante asshole, racist assholes and killers. They're also perverts and possibly rapists. So when Hank, at some point she leaves Hank and gets the hell out, without any explanation. Hank gets out too. Then the two guys take her and they try to rape her, basically. Then Long Shadow appears with a knife, an Indian hunting knife, and he wants to say, "Did you murder him?" And he said, "Shit, hell yeah." And he's not even, you know. And what happens is he sucker punches him, and the other guy, the drunk that Sheriff Burke put aside in the town hall, smashes a glass in his face, and he's KO. Now, and this time they're taking the girl, trying to rape her, but the guy, the guy was taken aside. He slaps her, he slaps her, but she's knocked out. The other guy says, what the fuck did you do now? I wanted to fuck her when she's awake." And then he says, "Go look for some water." And in the meantime, he gets stabbed to shit. When the other guy arrives, he finds the body of his friend, and he gets stabbed to shit. Now, Hank, the son, arrives, and before the killer wants to stab Hank, the sheriff pushes the killer away, because at this point he was already doing his detective work. He knew who the killer was at this point. And the killer is, now this is a spoiler, of course. If you don't want to know the spoiler, this movie has a lot of intrigue, has a lot of, there are not a lot of kills, but has a lot of intrigue. It's a good movie. I would recommend it. Like I said, I give it a 5.5. It gets a 5.1 on IMDb. So Bo Hopkins is great. The only character I sort of disliked at some point is Marcy Burke, because she just changed from, she was right what she was saying, then she changed. Hank was a normal son. Don Shanks, oh, they don't give him a lot of dialogue because he's a stuntman. He's not really an actor, but that's not no biggie. His dialogue he had was good enough. You know, the vigilantes were real scumbags, and I mean everybody played who they were supposed to be. And then Melissa was annoying. I have to agree, because she was such a slut that it wasn't even normal. It wasn't even normal that she was such a slut. She had to be full of STDs. I don't know. I don't know. STD Melissa. That's her nickname. And eventually, so who's the killer? Joanne, her mom. Apparently, Joanne and her sister, when she was young, was sexually abused by her father, and her father killed one of the sisters, and Joanne killed her dad for it. She spent her time in a mental hospital. She got released. She got a kid. She met with Dr. Morgan, and every time her daughter goes out with boys, she kills the men around her. That's basically what happens. Eventually, she commits suicide, and then you get a super weird ending, and that's the bad part of the movie. So Don Shanks, you know, Long Shadow, he has a bandage around his head. He's awake. Dr. Morgan is standing there. He says, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I have to, I have to, I have to go home." Then Melissa is sitting there with Hank and Marcy on the table. "Is everything okay?" And she says, "Yes." "Is everything all right? They're looking weird at her. Yes. And she goes to the house. She looks with this gazing eyes, and then you see she has a fucking knife under her robe. And why? And also, why wasn't Long Shadow? Because the thing is, the sheriff found those knives in Long Shadow's house, so why wasn't he asked for those to give those knives back? Nothing is explained at the end. And her mom was a killer, but she appears to be a killer again. She, the daughter appears to be a killer now because of the sexual abuse. She almost got sexually abused by those two assholes. So it's a little bit of a mix-up at the end. So that's what I didn't like, but 5.5 is it's a good score. Check it out. You know, subscribe for some more horror fun, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.